welcome to Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan. As always, I'm your host. And I thought you probably already saw that, but maybe you didn't. So I thought we would go ahead and take a look at a musical that came out in 2021. The movie we're talking about is Dear Evan Hansen. Now, Dear Evan Hansen is a musical I've never seen, though, before. This was a Broadway show in 2016, and even has the original guy who played Evan Hansen. He played Evan Hansen, Ben Pratt, who did the character on stage, and he also was in Book of Mormons on stage. But this is actually his first film as an actor, the first movie role he's in. Now, if you haven't seen the film, focus on Evan Hansen. Ben Platt plays Evan Hansen. He's a high schooler, though, and just your typical. Basically, the movie begins with just any other normal day at school. It begins with probably by far one of the best opening songs. That opening song, my gosh, is that incredible. I mean, I was already humming and singing to it. Well, not really singing to it, I was humming. The movie also stars Amy Adams and Julianne Moore. They're the two veteran actresses in this. So, he meets up with a guy named Connor Murphy. I forget who plays Connor Murphy. Colton Ryan, who also played a character on Broadway. Like I said, Julianne Moore, Amy Adams. Julianne Moore plays his mother, and Amy Adams plays the mother of the other son. So it begins, he's having problems with that. He takes his paper, but he gets a phone call from the principal saying, your best friend died of suicide. He took his own life. Now, this movie deals a lot of suicide, so if you have problems with that, do not watch this movie. Again, personally me, I have suicide problems. Not really like suicide problems than that. It's very heartbreaking. There's been times I thought to myself, I keep telling my mom. But I talk to her very much. I don't want to go into the whole thing about my feelings on suicide. In fact, in the end credits, my voice is a little bit like that. I do apologize if my voice isn't right. I still have a sore throat right now, so I do apologize. There was text at the end telling you about the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Like I said, I'll have it somewhere. I'll have that toll-free number in the video description. So I just want to let you know, clarify that. But we'll get to that at the very end. So I will say this: Amy Adams actually sings the movie. It's really good. But what surprised me the most was Julianne Moore actually sings in this movie, and it goes from okay to just flat. I will at least say this: she's a better singer than Pierce Brosnan was in Mamma Mia, so that's usually a good sign. So yeah, I'm gonna get the elephant out of the room. Aside from the singing and some of the songs, I thought the movie was just boring. I didn't like Evan Hansen. I didn't like the characters. I think the problem was, this movie had the same style that La La Land had. In La La Land, I didn't like La La Land. Everybody tells me it's one of the greatest musicals. I have a really hard time getting to newer musicals, especially stuff from the 2010s. I have a hard time. For me, give me the songs from Five Goes West any day, and I'll close that. And that was made in 1991. So yeah, I don't know. This to me also had the same problems that Charlie St. Cloud had. Unlikable characters, wooden story. This felt more like a musical version of Charlie St. Cloud. The brother dies, his best friend dies. But I like the idea of starting the Connor Project and how they use social media. But But again, like I said, if you have flat wooden characters, you're not going to have a good movie. Despite having that number at the very end of the credits, I give kudos to Universal and the writers for doing that. But other than that, I just can't recommend Dear Evan Hansen. It's not something I can go back to. But I would say just listen to the opening song and stop the film. Because honestly, you're not missing much with this movie. And I just cannot recommend, I just can't recommend it. So, I think I said for the most part, I guess I'll show you the artwork. Again, there's not much. There's not much. There are a few special features. I did like the Sincerely Ben Platt, which he talks about how he didn't know about this movie because the actor was working on Book of Mormons at the time. He didn't really know about it. Some of the featurettes, this movie was filmed during COVID, so the COVID-19 pandemic was going on at the time they were filming this. So, like, the interviewers like Amy Adams obviously were being interviewed at her house. They did a lot of Zoom meetings. Honestly, I don't know. It's a pretty good, just your standard artwork. But yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think I said what I'm going to say. So anyways, final verdict. Should you see Dear Evan Hansen? No. Honestly, I cannot recommend this. So be an automatic no. This movie, also another problem I have, the movie is super long. This is almost a 2 hour and 17 minutes film. Almost roughly 3 hours. For musical, having 3 hours, again, you have 2 acts on stage. That's promising. But trying to squeeze into 2 minutes just seems so long. And again, there's tons of other musicals. The last musical to come out in the 2000s was The Producers. The Matthew Broderick Producers, which I do own in my collection. That was the last of the musicals that I can easily say that was good. I can generally recommend Dear Evan Hansen. So, been on that, no. If you want to check it out, I guess, but honestly, I couldn't really find much of this. This one might make it on my worst list, despite that number at the end of the screen and the opening number. This would be on the worst list. So, no, I'm not going to keep this in the collection. I'm going to keep it in case my mom wants to watch it. My mom might like this movie. I gave Charlie St. Cloud back to my mom. Otherwise, if it was a me thing, this would basically be going bye-bye, because honestly, it's a tough recommend. To me, it's a no, but you might get into this. So, I'm going to stop right there. Sorry I have a little bit of sore throat right now. Yeah, I have a little bit of sore throat, so I tried working this review. So if you like what you see, check out all my other reviews. And I didn't have much to say this, so skip Dear Evan Hansen. If you're smart, you probably just skip this film. But if you did like the stage musical, you might want to see one's on stage, but the movie's just boring. None of the characters work. Some of the people could sing. Julie Moore was okay. I thought, oh wait, Julie Moore's not going to sing. It's like, well, she only sings one song in the movie. Again, just like Pierce Brosnan. He's better than Pierce Brosnan singing, I will say that. But until then, I'm going to say goodnight. Check out all my other videos if you want to, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.